All right, so are you ready to maybe kind of get that entrepreneurial spirit going a little bit?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Okay, good. Me too. Today, we're going to be looking at the world of health and wellness product sales, but not in the way you're probably thinking of.
Yeah, we're not talking about your typical retail store, are we?
No, not at all. We're talking about those private parties.
Ah, yes. Where friends get together, they try some new things.
Exactly. And maybe even like discover a business opportunity they hadn't thought about before.
You know, it's interesting because this approach, it really taps into a market that's absolutely massive.
Oh, yeah. How massive are we talking?
We're talking about a global health and wellness industry that's worth, get this, $4.5 trillion.
Wow. Okay, so that's a lot of protein shakes and yoga pants.
It is, it is. And these parties, they're actually a pretty smart way to cut through all the noise and advertising out there.
Right, because it's not just some random ad, it's coming from a friend.
Exactly. They leverage those personal connections, the recommendations from people you already trust. That
Hmm.
can be way more powerful than any billboard or commercial.
For sure. And it's like a built-in trust factor,
Mm.
right? Imagine you're at one of these parties, you're trying a new protein shake, you're chatting with friends about skincare.
Yeah, it's fun, it's social, it's a really relaxed way to kind of explore all these different products.
And I bet it's pretty cost effective for the people who are actually selling this stuff too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. No need for a storefront,
Yeah, no expensive rent.
no big marketing campaigns. Word of mouth, that's the real key here. And you know what? People are already inclined to try things that their friends recommend.
It's true. We all do it. Plus, the variety of products out there is pretty impressive.
It is.
We're talking vitamins and
Of
supplements.
course, those are classics.
We're talking those trendy detox
Yeah,
teas.
everybody loves those.
We're talking organic skincare lines, all the stuff people are already spending their money on.
Right. You're not trying to create this brand new demand. You're tapping into something that's already there.
Exactly. Now, this is where things get a little more interesting if you're thinking like an entrepreneur. It's not just about individual sales, right?
Right. Many of these companies use what's called a multi-level marketing structure, or MLM for short.
Okay, I've heard of that. So you're not just earning commission on what you sell personally,
Right.
you're building a team and earning a percentage of what they sell to.
That's the idea. You're basically creating this network of sellers.
Okay, that makes sense. But MLM, I feel like it often gets like a bad rap, you know?
It does, it does.
What are some of the common misconceptions people have about it? And how can someone, like, if they're thinking about this, tell if a company is legit or not?
Okay, that's a really important question, and it's crucial to be informed, right?
Mhm.
So one of the big concerns is whether an MLM is actually just a pyramid scheme disguised as something else.
Ooh, yeah. Gotta watch out for those.
Absolutely. So in a legitimate MLM, the focus is really on product sales, not just recruiting people.
Okay, so you actually have to be selling something real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want a company with high-quality products that people actually want and need.
So doing your research is essential.
Essentially, you got to look under the hood, see what they're all about.
Okay, I get it. Now, let's talk about some of those big players. You know, the companies that people automatically think of when they hear MLM?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. What are some of those names?
Okay, we can't talk about this model without mentioning Herbalife.
Oh, Herbalife. I've definitely heard of that.
They've been around forever, since 1980. They built this huge business around nutritional supplements and weight management products.
And their distributors earn through direct sales at these parties, right?
Right, but they also build teams. That's where that whole multi-level earning potential comes in.
Okay, makes sense. And then there's Amway, another one I've heard of.
Oh yeah, another veteran.
Uh,
They've got a massive product range.
What kind of stuff do they sell?
Everything. Vitamins, supplements, beauty products, you name it.
Wow, so they really cover it all.
They do. And their system lets you earn from your own sales, but also, crucially, from the sales of the people you bring into the network.
So you're kind of like building your own little sales army in a way.
Exactly. It's like a team effort. And then you have companies like Juice Plus, Plus Stack. They're interesting.
Oh, what do they do?
They've kind of carved out a specific niche, focusing on fruit and vegetable-based supplements.
Oh, I see. So they're tapping into that whole demand for natural, healthy stuff.
Exactly. People want things that are, good for them and come from whole foods. And their model, it's all about encouraging you to sell more with bonuses.
So the more you sell, the more you can potentially earn.
Right. It
Hmm.
can be really motivating if you're driven and you want to build a successful business.
Okay, this is what I think everyone's wondering about.
What's that?
The money. Let's talk about earning potential here.
All right, let's talk money.
Now, I know the average commission is around 25%, but what does that actually translate to in terms of real income? Like, what can someone realistically expect when they're starting out?
Okay, well, first off, we got to remember that success in this field, it's directly tied to effort and strategy. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme.
Right, got to put in the work.
You do. And while some people manage to earn a ton of money doing this, it's not typical right out of the gate.
Okay, so what is typical?
Well, the sources we looked at, they mentioned potential monthly earnings anywhere from $1,000 to over $20,000.
Wow, okay, so that's quite a range.
It is a big range, and those higher figures, those usually come from building a large and active team.
Okay, so it's not just about selling a few protein shakes to your friends.
No, no. We're talking about building something bigger, something that takes time, dedication, and strong leadership skills.
So it really is a business, not just a hobby.
You got it. You got to treat it like one if you want to succeed.
You're right, you really do. So before we get into the actual, like, how-to of launching this kind of business, I'm kind of curious about, the personality side of things.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like, are there certain personality traits or skills that would make someone, like, really good at this kind of business model?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like some people might think, oh, you have to be, like, super extroverted and, like, a natural salesperson.
Right, right. Well, it definitely helps to be comfortable in social settings.
Yeah.
Enjoy talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't necessarily have to be the life of the party.
Right, I get that.
It's more about being authentic, being genuinely enthusiastic about those products.
Yeah, because people can spot a fake from a mile away, right?
Totally. If you don't believe in what you're selling, it's going to show.
So it sounds like it's more about building relationships than just, like, hard selling, would you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about sharing your own experiences with the products,
Mhm.
talking about the benefits.
And really, like, helping people find what works for them, right?
Exactly. Think of yourself as like a wellness guide
Ooh, I like that.
instead of just a salesperson.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off, too.
He does.
So let's get down to, like, the practical steps. Let's say someone's listening to this and they're thinking, okay, I want to try this out. What are, like, the first few things they actually need to do to get started?
Well, once they've chosen a company, and that's important, making sure it aligns with their values and the product line they're passionate about.
Great. Gotta believe in it.
Then most MLM companies, they have what's called a starter kit.
Okay, a starter kit, what's in that?
It usually includes like sample products, training materials, and sometimes even marketing tools.
Oh, okay, that's pretty helpful so you're not just totally on your own.
Right. They give you the tools you need to get going.
And what about the cost? Is it, like, a huge investment up front?
It varies depending on the company, but usually the initial investment for a starter kit is pretty reasonable, maybe a couple $100.
Yeah, that's way less than opening up, like, a whole store.
Exactly. Way less risky.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've got your starter kit, you're excited about the products. Now what? How do you actually start, like, selling and building that network?
Well, this is where those parties come in.
Ah, yes, the party.
So hosting a good launch party, that's a fantastic way to introduce the products to your friends and family.
Right, get people excited.
Exactly. And start building that initial customer base.
I can picture it now, like those home party setups.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious snacks, people trying out samples, chatting. But how do you make sure it's not just a fun hangout? Like, how do you turn it into a successful sales event?
It's all about creating an experience. You got to make it engaging.
Okay, so what does that actually look like?
Well, you can have themed parties.
Ooh, fun.
Maybe focus on a particular product category
Yeah.
or like a specific health concern.
Yeah, good idea.
Offer free samples and demonstrations so people can really experience the products firsthand.
And you know what always works?
What's that?
Those before and after photos.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially for things like weight loss or skin care.
People love to see those results.
Visuals are so powerful.
Yeah, and social media is perfect for that, right?
Oh, it's essential these days.
Instagram, TikTok, that's where it's at.
You can really tell a story, build excitement.
All right, so you've had your awesome launch party, you're starting to build a network. What are some strategies for, like, keeping the momentum going and growing the business?
Well, consistency is key. It's not just about that one-time party.
Yeah, you got to keep it up.
You got to stay active on social media, engage with your network,
Mm-hmm.
Think about hosting regular events or workshops. Keep that excitement going.
So it's about becoming, like, a part of people's lives, not just popping up every once in a while to sell them something.
Right. It's about those genuine relationships,
Mm-hmm.
Offering support, being a resource for your customers.
Like a friend who also happens to have awesome products.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of email marketing.
Oh, yeah. Email.
It's a great way to stay in touch, offer promotions, and keep your network informed.
It sounds like a lot of work, but also really rewarding, especially if you're, like, really into this stuff.
It is. It can be very fulfilling.
But let's be real for a sec. There are challenges in any business, right?
Absolutely.
What are some of the hurdles that someone might face in, this kind of world?
Okay, well, one of the biggest challenges, and we touched on this earlier, is overcoming that skepticism about MLM.
Right, because it does have that, like, sometimes negative reputation.
It does. Some people have had bad experiences, or they have these preconceived notions about this model.
Like they think it's all pushy salespeople.
Yeah, or they think the products aren't good quality.
So how do you deal with those concerns and build that trust?
Well, I think transparency is huge.
Be upfront about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be open about the business model, emphasize the quality of your products,
Yeah, right.
and focus on providing real value and education.
So it's not just about making a sale.
No, it's about helping people.
You're like an educator.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to address concerns head on. Answer questions honestly.
Be real.
Yeah.
Okay, what about competition? There are so many people selling this kind of stuff these days. How do you, like, stand out from the crowd?
That's where your personal brand comes in.
Okay, what does that even mean?
Well, it's about what makes you different. What are you passionate about? What's your expertise?
So finding your niche.
Exactly. Share your own story.
Oh yeah, people love a good story.
They do. Share your journey, your struggles, your triumphs. People connect with authenticity, with vulnerability.
So it's about being yourself, not trying to be some, like, perfect salesperson.
Right. It's about finding your tribe, your people who resonate with you and what you're all about.
Love it. Now, are there any, like, specific marketing strategies that work particularly well in this space?
Oh, absolutely. We talked about social media, but think outside the box.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, how about online workshops or webinars?
Ooh, good idea.
Focus on a specific health topic. Get people engaged.
Yeah.
You could collaborate with other businesses in the wellness space.
Like what kind of businesses?
Oh, yoga studios, health food stores, places where your target audience hangs out.
That's smart.
And don't forget about referral programs.
Oh yeah, word of mouth is gold.
It is. Incentivize your existing customers to spread the word.
It's like a built-in marketing team. I like it.
And it's authentic, coming from people they already trust.
Exactly. Now, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, managing expectations, especially when it comes to, how much money you could actually make. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out and maybe feeling a little overwhelmed?
Well, it's so important to set realistic goals. Understand that success takes time.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's a process. You got to put in the work, be consistent, and have that genuine desire to help others.
It's not just about the money.
No, it's about the impact you're making.
And don't compare yourself to, like, those super successful people you see on social media.
Oh, please don't.
It's easy to get caught up in that.
Everyone's journey is different.
Focus on your own growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Celebrate your wins, even the small ones, and enjoy the journey.
It should be fun.
If you're truly passionate about health and wellness and you love connecting with people, this could be such a rewarding path.
Yeah. And remember, you don't have to do it alone.
You don't.
There are so many support systems out there, communities within these MLM companies.
Use those resources.
Connect with mentors. Learn from people who have been there, done that.
It's a team effort.
It's pretty cool to think about, like, you can actually make a living doing something you love.
Yeah, especially when it involves helping other people live healthier lives.
Exactly. But you know what I find really interesting about this whole approach?
What's that?
It's like, it kind of challenges the way we think about traditional retail.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like a shift back towards, more personalized, community-driven shopping.
It is, and it reminds me a lot of, like, the early days of e-commerce.
Oh, really?
Remember when people were, like, super hesitant to buy stuff online?
Oh, yeah. They were all like, is it safe? Is my credit card going to get stolen?
Exactly. People didn't trust those websites.
But now, I mean, come on. Everybody shops online.
I know. It's become the norm.
It's how we buy, like, almost everything.
Right. So I wonder if we're kind of seeing that same evolution happening with this whole party-based sales model.
You think so?
It might seem a little weird now, a little unconventional,
Yeah.
but in a few years, who knows? It could be totally mainstream.
Especially with, like, all the challenges regular stores are facing.
Totally. Malls are closing. People are shopping online.
And I think people are craving, like, that human connection.
Yeah.
These parties, they bring back that element that's missing online.
They do. And
Yeah.
it's just more fun to discover products that way, you know?
Think about it. When was the last time you actually like walked down every aisle of a health food store and looked at every single thing?
Oh, I never do that.
Right. Me neither. Usually I'm like in and out. I got my list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at a party, you're totally immersed in the products.
Yeah, you're trying stuff. You're hearing what other people think.
And it's not just about the products themselves. It's that education and support.
Right. You're getting advice from people who actually like live this stuff.
They've tried it, they use it, they can answer your question.
And they're passionate about it, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to get that from a website.
Yeah. Or even like a store clerk who's just, doing their job,
Exactly. It's like having a personal wellness coach.
but without the expensive fees.
Exactly.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what are some of the main things our listeners should keep in mind if they're thinking about, trying this out?
Well, whether they're thinking about becoming a customer or maybe even starting their own business,
Yeah, either way.
I would say, first and foremost, do your research.
Don't just jump into anything.
No, you got to find a company and a product line that you really connect with, something that aligns with your values.
You got to believe in what you're selling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, success in this takes dedication. It takes consistency and that genuine desire to help others.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It is. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Go to a party,
Right.
see for yourself what it's all about.
Yeah, you might be surprised.
You might find an amazing community.
Awesome. All right, well, that's it for our deep dive into the world of health and wellness product sales at private parties.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, and most importantly, keep taking care of yourselves.